we are going to party with Terry. We are going to celebrate. We're going to rise the vibe. This has been an incredible day. It's been an incredible 2 days. This is what it's supposed to be. We're going to celebrate women in print. We are going to celebrate this woman in print, because don't we know what it's like to take something on and then put it out there to the world? It is a process. We don't say the J word anymore, just like we don't say the B word anymore. It's the stretch, right? It's you and you. I mean, most things that happen, and thank you for showing your faces. That's awesome. We should have told you we were doing a book launch, 3 hours ago. So you guys are showing your faces. You're showing up for the woman who stand up, speak up, and show up. Thank you so much. And we are very excited, because it is, when you do something like write a book, be an author in a book, participate in an anthology, get on a stage, whatever it is that you're doing, particularly because no one's telling you. This is like your self-directed RRSP. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to bring you wealth. It's going to take you to the next step, but no one's sitting over top of you going, okay, you showed up at work today. Today you're going to write your book. You're going to take a 45-minute lunch, and then you're going to leave at 5. You have to carve out that time. And it is really easy to not. It's really easy to not. When you talk to a lot of people, unless they're put under a big time pressure, like Leslie did, and Stephanie did, and Kathy did, like, unless you had someone going, you have this time frame, it can be hard to be self-directed, because we have many other things that we have to do, need to do. And particularly while you're writing the book, you're writing the course, you're producing, it doesn't necessarily be an income producing time either. It's something that you're doing for the future of your business or the future of your message. Or sometimes you're writing this for all sorts of different reasons, right? To help kids understand reading, to move things forward. It could be all sorts of things that we're writing books for. And it can feel a little unrewarding at times. I'm sure it feels draining. The exhilaration can leave as fast as it can come, and it takes some time. So I think it is absolutely worth taking your camera, being here with your face if you can be. And I'm going to talk a little bit, and let's just do a shout out, and let's do some hearts, and let's do some balloons, and let's do some stuff for Terry. Mihalcheon, and you can, we'll take people off later, that has written this incredible book called The Squeeze Effect, that she's going to have to tell you how to purchase, because we had people looking to purchase it today, because I haven't been keeping the book to myself, and it's not available yet, but will be. So you can put your name in the chat, and she will put you on a guest list that she will release and tell you when it's available. So yay, yay, yay. So let me tell you a little bit about Terry. So the book is called The Squeeze Effect, and I'm going to read right off the back of the book, because that's what we should do. This is, so Terry's a holistic wellness expert. She's a speaker. We know she's been on this stage before, and she's an advocate for women's health. With a deep-rooted background in natural health and a passion for helping women reclaim their well-being, she created The Squeeze Effect to address the silent crisis of stress-related illness affecting millions of women worldwide. Drawing from personal experience, generations of wisdom, and her 7 pillars framework, Terry helps women break free from the squeeze before it breaks them. And man, I feel so grateful for having this. She got me 1 copy, so in time for this. And so Terry, congratulations. And let's bring you up to the stage a little bit and have a conversation about what this book is about and why you brought it about.
Okay, well, to be honest, it wasn't always the squeeze. It was going to be about menopause. I was going through a lot of stuff during menopause, and I thought, I didn't know half of what was to be expected during menopause. And I thought, if I don't know, a lot of other people don't know. But then it became something else, because that menopause seemed to just sort of take off at the same time I had the idea. It seemed like everybody else had the same idea, but I was still going to do it. But what happened to me is I got into an accident last year in Sedona, Arizona. I took out my ankle on the first trail with my family, and I had to hike out, and it was in the US. I didn't want to go to the hospital because I live in Canada. So I said, okay, I'll wait it out. I had an air cast I could borrow. I had an air cast on my foot. And by the time I got back to Canada, I went straight to the hospital. I wanted an x-ray. And the nurse in ER is doing her thing. And she goes, okay, what heart medications do you take? Now, sorry about that. I am totally 100% holistic, and I avoid modern medicine. I avoid medications, pharmaceutical medications, and so I rarely ever took anything, not even painkillers. And when she said, "Well, what heart medications were you taking?" I just assumed that that's just a question they ask everybody, right? But she said, "No." I said, "I don't take anything," and she said, "Well, you're here for your ankle?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Missy, you got a way bigger problem going on. You're not going home. You're in the verge of a heart attack." And that really caught me off guard. At 50, I ran a marathon, ran the Honolulu Marathon. 2 years later, I did the Grand Fondo in Vancouver, rode my bike from Vancouver to Whistler. Was always really active and thought I was healthy, but something else was going on. And that's when I wrote the book. And everything changed, and I knew I wanted to get it out quick. And so I really set myself, and I had to study a little bit and get some statistics. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, do you want me to go into this, or do you want to?
Yeah, absolutely. Rock and roll, girl.
So first of all, unbeknownst to me and the rest of the world, we knew this was going to happen. We knew this was coming, but we're just not ready for it. There are 7 generations on the planet right now that we have never been in this dynamic before, where there's such an unbalance of aging society. The top, from age 50 to 100 and over 100 and beyond, the numbers are so much bigger than the numbers below 50. And even in the great generation, over 100, the numbers are there. There are people still there in bigger numbers than we've ever seen before. And then there's the silent generation, the people that are between 80 and 100. And these people, the silent generation, they kind of were born right at the end of the Depression. They had this life that none of us have had. They were quite spoiled in a way. They were stay-at-home moms. You dressed up for your husband and had the dinner ready for him when he got there. He got the couch, and it's just a really, really spoiled in our world kind of generation, and that's them. And now they're over 80, and they don't want to leave their homes. They're not wanting to go into a home. Um, then there's the baby boomers, which of course is the biggest generation out there, and we're heading into from 60 to we're heading to the 80 age, and then poor Gen X is right after. And so there's this dynamic that financially, emotionally. How many of you here right now, you can put a one in the chat, have commitments to a parent, a grandparent, a son, a daughter, or a grandchild, where you are daily taking care and involved in their life on a daily basis, whether it be caring for a parent or caring for a grandchild. The kids are still living at home. I'm starting to get a lot of ones here. So that tells me that there's a lot of people, even on this call, that are feeling squeezed, because it gets you emotionally, it gets you physically, and financially. It is devastating. We're in our 60s, and we had retired early, and now we have a daughter at home with her grandson, my grandson, her son, helping her get through school and financially trying to help her. And it's taken a toll on our finances for sure. And they don't want to be in this situation, but it's the way that the world is not ready to support us as a whole. there's nothing out there for us. There's no real money or, another way of having help or even government help. There's one country out there, Singapore, who has it a little bit better and has addressed it. And in Singapore, if your family member, your parent lives within 5 kilometers of where you live, you get a huge tax break. And that's something that the rest of the world needs to really look at because we're not making it. The number one killer for us is heart attacks. It's not cancer. It's not anything else. It's stroke and heart attack. And I'm starting to see it a lot. And the numbers are going higher for younger men as well, as young as 40. I know somebody that just lost her husband. He's 40. Now he's left her with 6 kids. So it'll be rough for her. But to kind of focus on the Gen X baby boomer, the end of the baby boomers, the beginning of the Gen X, that's the ones that are really finding it the hardest. And this is the age 50 to 65, somewhere in there. If you can make it to 65, you're going to probably make it. But and I didn't know this either, was that it's menopause. Menopause affects your estrogen levels, which I'm getting a lot of head. They already knew, but I didn't. And you have to know your numbers because the estrogen levels will affect your cholesterol levels, which causes high cholesterol, and then of course heart stroke. So if you're not going to get your blood work or actually getting your blood pressure checked, you don't know because it's a silent killer. So that's and I didn't know that. I was shocked. So hence the book.
Well, it's so beautiful. I mean, if that, and I think that's the proper word for it. That what you've written on the back of the book in terms of awareness. I mean, I think that's what we're here for, right? Sharing and educating and making people not feel alone. That's why it's called Sisters. That's why it's called Movement, right? You wrote here, are you carrying the weight of financial worries, emotional guilt, endless responsibilities while you're trying to take care of everyone else? And the endless responsibilities, I think when you talk about the generation, some people call it the sandwich generation, where we're caught somewhere in between, right? And it says, with 7 generations alive on the planet, millions of women are feeling the squeeze effect. So, you're calling it the squeeze, which is perfect, balancing the needs of aging parents, grown children, grandchildren, and then your own well-being and the dance and balance of that. I think that sometimes this stuff goes on and we don't, one, recognize it, to acknowledge it, because depending on what your environment was, there's expectations around it, right? And I think that even kids don't see that. I mean, they don't see it until they experience it, right? So you've got these kids that are like, hey, what I mean? People having babies a little bit older and what have you. They don't see you in those roles of at that stage in your life where maybe you want to kind of have a bath, you know what I mean? Or you want to go to the spa for the day. So I'm so glad that you addressed it. And when I look into this book about, I just pulled this page out and Pillar 3, tips for cultivating and nurturing joy. Well, there you go. I mean, there's some beautiful poems in here, The Essence of Me. There's stories. There's all sorts of things in here about nourishing your body. And just, I think, like your friend, as you're going through these things, and the numbers are staggering. And at least it's making people wake up a little bit. Because sometimes when you're in something, like I was talking to Katie, Katie has 3 children, and then she's a Gigi, like how far does the stretch go or the squeeze go? I'm not saying that it's a bad experience. I'm just saying that we are in existence of multi-generations. I'm going to ask you, I believe, was this your first solo book that you did?
First solo book. Yeah.
Solo book. So share with us a little bit about that, because I think that's pretty beautiful.
What? That I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it was cracking for quite a while, like over, probably a period of 4 or 5 years. I left my job at 60 because I knew I wanted to. I mean, what you don't know about me is that I worked I was a silver miner. I worked in the lumber industry. I worked in the building industry. Health and wellness. I grew up with all of that, but then I left it because it didn't pay anything. Like, what do I do with this? Once I graduated from high school. So I ended up going into all the natural resource jobs and whatever. And one day I was miserable. I sat at my desk. I was at a desk by then, and I said to myself, okay, I got like 10 years left, right? At 60. And I said, I'm going to do this. I want to do this. I'm going to do it. And on that day, I said, I'm going home and I'm going to start writing my book and I'm going to start working on my business. And oddly enough, I don't know, you don't know this, Deb. I've been following you all along because we were both in the same company, but she was in Vancouver and I was in a whole different team or whatever. But I always knew Deb was in what I was doing. And then I was starting to get more active in social media, and then she's seen me and said, hey, we need to talk. So, having said that, that gave me the confidence to finish my book because once I'd been to the Oscars and stuff, then I knew, okay, this needs to happen and it needs to happen now because, well, we're getting older. I don't have a lot of time to just waste and whatnot. But solo. And it's not finished yet because we have the proofs. You've got the proof. You know how bad the proof is.
No, no.
And I lost a parent last week, so it kind of really slowed things down a little bit. And I wanted to, I didn't want to push it. So it'll be available by Monday. But yeah, so we're just finishing up and giving myself grace because I'm really feeling the squeeze.
Absolutely. How,
Yeah,
and we're here to support,
yeah,
and being on a guest list and being on an author's list awaiting is perfectly fine.
yeah.
And I think if we heard anything throughout this last 2 days is there
Give
really is
yourself
a
grace.
definition of perfect, and there really is no mistakes, and it really is about, embracing the moment. I think this would be a great time to hear from, your dear friend, Linda Cross. Linda, we're going to get you unmuted there and share a few words. You're a friend of Terry's here, and so Desi's just going to, there you go. If you want to share a few words, that would be awesome.
I've known Terry for, I think it might be 5 or 6 years, and Terry and I are working out partners in one of the companies that one of Terry's side gigs sort of things, and she is an amazing entrepreneur. She is an amazing leader. I feel that I get 100% from Terry and she gets 2% from me, which is not balanced. It's I'm on the winning end 100%. She's a powerhouse. She's an entrepreneur. The fact that she's written this book is just amazing. I just don't know how she fits in what she does in her day. It's called time management, which she's got under control a lot better than me. And yeah, she's just her book. I've read it. In fact, I'm reading it twice now because I read it so fast the first time. It really is just one of the best I've seen in a long, long time, with so many tips and solutions for guiding women on how to reclaim their time, energy, and their lives. And she's just a friend that I will have forever, and she's just a guardian angel, really. She's just has so much to give.
Oh, I mean, oh my gosh, a guardian angel. What a beautiful impression. And Terry, I mean, first of all, thank you for Linda for sharing. Thank you, Linda, for sharing so much. And I think it's really beautiful to hear, Terry, for you, just the impact that you make. And you do. And you have a beautiful glow. You have a beautiful glow about you right now. I mean, maybe someone told you about a ring light, but I'm not, I'm just you have a beautiful glow about you when you walk in the room. So I know that there's a couple other ladies that wanted just to say a few words of congratulations to you. Cheryl, so if we can just unmute Cheryl, as Cheryl Raptor.
Yeah, she's there. I think.
Yeah.
Hello, Terry. It's great to
Hello.
see you. Congratulations. Sorry, I'm just getting, I met Terry at the Oscars, right? I never knew Terry until the Oscars, and I'm even emotional. I'm sitting here going, oh my God, this is so exciting because I remember my book launch, and it's an exciting time, and getting your message out to the world is great because I'm in that 60 plus category, and my mom had a heart attack in her 60s, and so I'm excited to read your book and really everyone's tearing up and really just get to know a little bit more. But you definitely you were somebody that really connected with me, like together. We just we hung out at the pool, went to Rodeo Drive, and just really bonded and had a friendship over the Oscars. Even though we were like super busy, we made time for each other. We did each other's hair, going to the gala. That was so much fun, like in the room getting ready together, so that just tells me really how much of a integrity and a good person you are, and you really care about people, about what you're doing, and with your business and your family. And it's yeah, it's great, and I'm excited for you to be here in Vancouver and really connect there again. So yeah, I'm wishing you all the best with your book. It's going to go #1. I know it is. And yeah, just excited for what you're up to. I'm glad that we got to connect and build friendship.
Thank you. I can see Bonnie Harris there jumping up and down. Oh my gosh, what a story. I have to tell the story. I'm sorry, Bonnie. I have to tell the story. This lady comes up behind me, and like, I've never been to this red carpet stuff either. I didn't know what we were up against. And then Bonnie comes in behind me and goes, I was just told about it a couple of days ago. And she borrowed everything she had on from friends, got on Facebook. Then she's standing there, and we're on the red carpet, and she taps my shoulder and she says, my shoe just broke. I'm going, that's nice. Well, just limp along. So we got to keep going. And then, that's just kind of the thing that we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. I don't even remember what I said to the cameras. Yeah, totally unexpected. Cheryl was great to do my hair. I did her hair. We didn't really have anything to do our hair with. Kind of packed just a little carry-on and headed down to LA for the Oscars. That was kind of fun. It was a great experience. I'm glad I did it, and I can't wait to go to the Emmys. I shouldn't say a little hello to, I've got Linda Cross on, who spoke, and then there's Wendy Ramsey is here. I see Stacy. Both of these ladies are in the book. Kind of going along with the 262, I do have stories that they share. And so Stacy, Wendy, and can't see anybody else on. Kathy. There's so many familiar faces from the Oscars. Kathy's here. Yeah, so Wendy, I think we could ask Wendy to give her story.
Sure. Well, why don't we let Bonnie respond to the shoe thing, and then
Okay.
we'll have Desi open up for Wendy, and then Wendy and Stacy. So Bonnie, maybe share with us a hello or congratulations and whatever you'd like to say.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a wild night. Like, Terry, oh my gosh, it was so crazy, right? Oh, and I have to give a shout out to Cheryl too, because she was right there cheering me on. But yes, it's true. I have never been to anything so glamorous as the Oscars. I was so excited when I got invited. It was definitely an up-level moment. I was like, I'm so scared, but that is part of me. Like, when something's scary, I'm like, I'm really scared. I have to do this. So yes, here I am walking down the carpet. You guys, my shoe broke. I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? Then I don't know if you remember, but after I took a couple more steps, my second shoe broke. I literally broke both of my shoes. And I could have panicked. I could have been humiliated and embarrassed and so ashamed. But instead, I flipped it and said, you know what? This is a moment of growth. This is a moment of up level. Those shoes were not new. Those shoes were old. And I truly feel in my heart, it was God saying, you are so beyond those old shoes that I'm going to break you free from those shoes, and you are going to step into this new version. You belong here. You should be here. The world needs to hear your story. And so it was just such an eye-opening moment. And I'm still growing from that event. And I'm just so honored and blessed to be here. But yes, same with Terry. Like I was like, I don't even know what to say. I've never been interviewed like that before. I don't remember what I said. It doesn't matter though, because I did it, and I'm so proud of myself. And thank you so much, Deb, for inviting me.
No worries. I think that that's what we do, right? I mean, I'm so great. So great. Well, look at Wendy. Are you cool to say a few words? Because we'll unmute you. Okay, great. So Desi will do her magic there, and then Stacey, get ready if you're comfortable. We'll go to you next. So Wendy, feel free to tell us anything you know about Terry.
Oh, the stories I could tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations, Terry. I knew you could do it. When you put your heart out there and your determination, you can accomplish anything. I aspire to be one-fifth of you. But I met Terry about, 18 years ago. We worked together. And she's always had lots of dreams and lots of stuff to aspire to. And she always makes them come true. You know, she told me she was going to quit her job. She was go on this adventure, and start her business. She did it. She does anything that she sets her mind to. The book, she talked to me about the book last year, asked me to write a story in there, which I am just so honored to do. And now her book is coming true, like everything she does. Like she's inspirational. She's a true friend. She just, oh, come on, I can get your head bigger. She's always got great advice. If I phone her, we're talking, and I said, oh, I've got this something going on. She's like, you have to take this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, just a minute. I have to write this down, okay? But her knowledge, she's got so much knowledge in there. And it's so nice to see her putting her knowledge into a book, helping other women, helping me through life. And she's always there for you, no matter what. You phone her up and she's there. You want to meet for coffee, she's there. Yeah. We did the running thing together, although I did not do a marathon. My limit was a 10K, but we had lots of good times. We've gone to lots of events, and she just loves life. And when you're with her, you can't help but feel that. And, get the excitement from her.
Yeah. Right on.
She's truly a great person. Yeah, Terry, and I love you, Terry.
Soak it in. Holy cow.
Take it in. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy, for sharing from the heart. Wow.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're
awesome.
Welcome.
All right, Stacey, you ready?
Sure. I wasn't expecting to be on here, but hey, here I am.
Sorry.
Yeah, Terry actually, it's kind of a funny story, goes a long way back. Terry used to work with my mom for years. So I just kind of knew her from, seeing her at my mom's office and that kind of stuff. And her husband actually worked with, I think he worked with my ex-husband, and yeah, at the same place, all in the same place. So yeah, I didn't know Terry personally at that point. And then I started a business, a little entrepreneurial thing with my son, and we were prospecting, and
I think I prospected her and she prospected me, and she's still working on me. And yeah, I've just gotten to know her really well. She asked me to be in her book. So I said, sure, why not? So I was going through, and still am, in the midst of a little bit of chaos and stuff going on in my life, and feeling the squeeze for sure. And so yeah, I'm in her book, and I've just seen how big her heart is and how hard she works and how she just goes for whatever she wants. So she's been definitely an inspiration. I've read her book. I love it. I'm going to read it over and over again and make some of her recipes. And yeah, it's just the start of a new friendship for sure.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. That's amazing. Terry?
Oh, I just said thanks, Stacy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, what I think we'll do is Carmel would like to say a few words, and then Terry, we're going to go to you. If there's any final words that you want to say or share about the book or your process. And then I'm hoping that everyone, again, put your email in, send a message to Terry if you want to be on the launch list for when this book hits the market. Carmel?
Yeah, I just want to say a super quick thank you for writing this book. I have not yet had the opportunity to read it, but I'm really excited about it because I'm one of the Gen X people you're talking about. And so I'm not in the squeeze yet, but it has been so in my consciousness that, my parents are aging. My father in particular is quite ill, and they don't live here where I live. And so I'm trying to figure out how am I going to navigate this. And I can just see, like, as you were talking, I'm like, oh, here's someone who's like been on the journey. I need this book. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you for writing it. I know that there can always be this sense of, well, who am I to write this book or any book at all? And so I love that you said, yes, I need to write this book. And it's going to be such a gift. So that's all I wanted to say.
Right on. So Terry, any final words that you would like to say as we wrap up your incredible first of many book launches?
Oh, like, yeah, I totally missed out the person why I even ended up at the Oscars, and that's Leslie Capps. I didn't go down to the Oscars with the 262. I had gone down with Leslie's book. I have a copy. Just a minute, Leslie. I'm not going to let you go.
Oh my goodness.
This was on practice. This was something. I got extra minutes, so here you go. This is Leslie's book, Business Gold. And yeah, thank you, Leslie, for asking me to help you with your table. And it was a great experience, and I'm really glad I went. So a little bit more about the book. I think the biggest thing of all of this is that this generation, this age group, has been raised that you have to be everything to everybody. And if you aren't everything to everybody, then you aren't doing a very good job and you feel guilty. And actually, nobody really thinks that way. It's just that that's our mindset and we do that to ourselves. So to me, the most important chapter of the book is the final one, which was chapter 7, and it's called Mindset, and it's all about your mindset. And if you can just get your head out of that and put yourself number one, you first, no guilt. That is my motto. And please don't feel guilty if you say no to the people that really need a good no. And it was Papa? No, Carmel. Be ruthless with your time. 100%. Put up barriers, boundaries, allow boundaries. And then people appreciate it too because they know what you expect and they won't cross those boundaries once you set them. but it's super important for your heart. You got to protect your heart. If you have a heart attack or stroke and become incapacitated where you can't help and do the things that they want you to do or that you've always done, the family dynamic can really fall apart. And you really are the glue, but you need to protect yourself so that you can be there. You don't have to do it all. And I think that my biggest challenge right now is my husband that's retired. Him and I are butting heads like crazy. And I hear this a lot. What do you mean I need to make you a sandwich for lunch? No. That's not going to happen. It's a harsh reality for me to set that boundary. But yeah. So, and we just had this conversation again this morning with somebody else. That's why it popped in my mind. They're just saying he's driving me crazy. And it really is because you're allowing that to happen, and you just need to set those boundaries, say, figure it out. Open a can of tuna, you got it.
Right on. Well, look
Yeah.
there's lots in here for women to ponder, and I loved listening to Wendy and Stacy talk about how they read it once and then they need to read it again. And I think that's really important with, words that move you or words that inspire you to think differently. I don't think books were meant to be read once, to be honest with you. I think like a good movie. How many of you have a good movie that you've watched a number of times? And I'm like, oh, I never saw that before. I never saw that before. I never read that before. So on behalf of multi-generations, we're just going to do a big shout out and thank you, Terry.